Brandon Hansen is an aerial acrobat. Don't get too excited. He's not going to perform any aerial acrobatics that I know of today, but it's on his Instagram. Brandon coaches for teenage professional troupe Le Petit Cirque in Los Angeles. During March 2020, while suddenly unable to practice his art in the sky, he began to stargaze nightly and developed the desire to put the sky into art. Thus, the annually were invented, a now patent pending collection of celestial displays. Today, he'll use an annulus to help us visualize and understand proximity in a chart. Within hours of his birth, Hermes invented the lyre. Brandon embodies Hermes' inventiveness. Please join me in welcoming Brandon Hansen with Proximity.
Hello, stargazers. My name is Brandon Hansen, and this is Annular Astro. Today, I'll deliver the opening excerpt for a full presentation on proximity, which I'll premiere for the Sedona Astrology Club on the autumn equinox this year, when the sun is over the equator. So, what is proximity? Well, it describes the distance from one thing to another, and has a connotation for closeness, a short distance being near to. I learned about this topic from my good friend Dara Minkin, the aerial philosopher. She is the author of this book, Proximal, an introduction to aerial theory. On page 5, she writes, Proximal is for students and teachers of any aerial discipline who are ready to work on their technique, mental understanding of the aerial language, and core strength. Now, I believe astrology to be an aerial discipline because, like acrobats, we're navigating our way through space. So, proximity is an important topic for our own understanding and technique, but I promise I won't make you do any sit-ups today. Dara defines proximity as close to the torso because she's teaching about the body. But for our intents and purposes, proximal means close to the earth. So today, we'll focus only on the celestial body, which is closest to the earth. Do you know which one is most proximal? Hopefully you said the moon. Please excuse my mooning you, but I love this ocean jasper because it gives us a light side and a dark side, just as the moon has. And on the annulus, the lit side always faces the sun. Now, the moon is a satellite to the Earth, orbiting us unlike a planet. This gives it 4 distinct qualities from its proximity. It is larger in size, brighter in phase, stronger in gravity than everything else in the sky but the sun. However, in the 4th quality, it wins first place without contest as fastest in speed by far. It travels all the way around the sky 12 full times before the sun can even get around once, giving us 12 months a year. Tomorrow, the moon will be conjunct the sun, a new moon. So today, it's just one divot back, a balsamic moon. And for me, up high in the 10th house. So you can see that we couldn't see the moon if we went outside. For every chart, at every moment of time, you can visualize the moon as the closest body to us. However, its qualities of size, brightness, gravity, and speed will vary for each particular lunar placement. This is because the moon doesn't orbit us in a perfect circle like the annulus depicts. Instead, it comes closer to the Earth at one point and furthest away at the opposite in an elliptical orbit. We can remedy this on the annulus by using a ring to move the moon in and out. You might already know this point as the black moon Lilith. Many astrologers use Lilith without fully understanding its profound astronomy, as it is the lunar apogee, the moon's furthest point. So in conjunct Lilith, the moon is smaller in size, dimmer in phase, weaker in gravity, and slower in speed. Conversely, the closest point is the lunar perigee, and we mythologize it as the character Priapus. Those in the community might talk about Priapus less, but he puts the ogle in Google, I assure you. Look him up. When the moon is conjunct Priapus, it is largest in size, brightest in phase, strongest in gravity, and fastest in speed. And when square to these points, these qualities are more average. This was the configuration in March 2021 when a gigantic container ship called the Ever Given lodged into the banks of the most narrow part of the Suez Canal in Egypt. This was auspicious, however, as the waxing first quarter moon was moving towards Priapus and opposed the sun as a super full moon, creating a king tide, which authorities elected to assist a fleet of tugboats in getting the Ever Given dislodged. I might also point out that that day, Venus was at its most distant, Cazimi, in the heart of the sun, just as it is today. So we see that a moon at perigee gives very profound, mundane, and practical effects that we might use for interpretation as a metaphor. Today, I'll use the example of my boyfriend TJ's chart, as he was born with the moon at perigee. He has Libra rising with the sun in Pisces in the 6th house. So it was the evening, or what astrologers call night sect. So we can visualize his sky as full of stars. He was born with a waxing crescent moon in the sign of Taurus, visible in the 8th house. At perigee, remember, it is large in size, bright in phase, strong in gravity, and fast in speed. And TJ exemplifies all these qualities. He is tall and broad, waxing in muscularity over time, to my delight. In the realm of emotions, the traditional domain of the moon, his are close to the surface and potent in gravity, affecting those around him. And my favorite quality is that he is an avid rollerblader, traveling fast in speed around the city. By adding apogee and perigee, or Lilith and Priapus, to your charts, you can better visualize and interpret the moon's 4 qualities of size, brightness, gravity, and speed, along with what you know about her sign, house, and phase. And I highly recommend using your secondary progressions as an exercise to watch her go all the way around through these points. If you'd like to see my full presentation, where I will use this annulus to describe the proximity of the sun and planets and its effect on their movement and brightness, the early bird tickets for the Sedona Astrology Weekend are currently available. And if you'd like to see more of my work with the annuli, you can visit my website at annularastro.space.